So I'm now going to say a little bit about attachment theory, and let's just go back to my three features of the meta perspective on psychotherapy, or the three common factors in psychotherapy: the attachment relationship, the theoretical framework, and producing change, promoting change. So I'm going to say, how does attachment theory theorize relationships? And I'll say a bit about that. These are just some headings, so I won't go through them. One way of just reminding oneself about the attachment dynamic — I live in a rural area — is to go into a field with sheep and their lambs in the spring. And the moment you go into that field, all the lambs will rush back. They've been playing quite happily away from their mothers. They will rush back to their mothers. And that illustrates beautifully the attachment dynamic. Under conditions of threat, then the attachment dynamic is triggered in parents and children, and it brings those parents and children into close proximity and therefore protects the vulnerable infant from any potential threat. Now, this was a hugely important idea for Bowlby and his collaborators when they were theorizing attachment. They had the idea that if we think about what they call the environment of evolutionary adaptation, if we think about early man in the Bowlby Gorge, in what is now Kenya or Ethiopia, we're an incredibly vulnerable species. We're not particularly strong. We can't run particularly fast. We haven't got very big claws or teeth. We've only got two things. We've got brains and we've got each other. Now, the reason, or the fact that we've got brains, means that we have to be born in a very, very immature state to get that big brain through the birth canal. And it also means that we're going to have a long period of huge dependency and vulnerability. Those little lambs are up and running within half an hour of birth. Well, it takes us a year even to get upright. Therefore, so that's number one, the big brain, we can think. And number two, we've got each other. But we need an evolutionary devised mechanism for us, as it were, to protect our vulnerable offspring, and that is the attachment dynamic. So when those little babies on the Bowlby Gorge, surrounded by predators, they sense threat, they vocalize, and that activates the attachment dynamic in the caregiver. Now, that's the fundamental concept of attachment theory, and it applies throughout the life cycle. If you start thinking, now I may be anticipating some of my slides, we've moved on a little bit. We've expanded the idea of the attachment dynamic from simply a form of protection, because although we do live in a potentially threatening environment, although of course that's hugely exaggerated these days, and London, as Steven Pinker has shown, is a far, far safer place to live in today than it was 100 years ago or 150 years ago. But we still see it as rather threatening. And of course there are motor cars and there are sort of there is violence about. But we need to expand the concept of attachment to include affect regulation. If you think about a baby crying in the night, that baby is in distress, a 6-month-old baby. And I'm speaking very much from experience because I've been staying with my grandchildren this weekend. That baby then, in a not particularly sound-approved house, and so that baby will activate the caregiver. Mum or dad will then have to drag themselves out of bed and go to that baby. Now, that baby doesn't know what it is that's causing his or her distress. The caregiver then has to work this out. Is my child too hot, too cold, had a bad dream, need the nappy change, needs some food, needs turning over, etc. So the mother's brain is yoked in, as it were, by the baby's brain, and together they work out what's wrong. That baby's affect is being regulated by the mother. And there's a kind of conversation going on between them, because if, let's say, the mum changes the baby's nappy and the baby's still crying, then the mum may think, oh, well, I haven't quite got that right. Or the baby's saying, you haven't quite got that right. What I need is a feed, something of that sort. So there's a kind of conversation going on, a mutual affect regulation. So we have to think of the function of attachment as having these two, attachments having these two functions. One, protection from threat, actually Bowlby extended that. So he said the attachment dynamic is triggered by separation, threat, and illness or exhaustion. So the baby who is tired or slightly ill will kind of stop playing and go and sit on mum or dad's lap and snuggle up, that kind of thing. So there's the attachment dynamic. But we now extend that attachment is necessary because it helps us to regulate our affect. And that, as I shall explain in a minute, helps us to understand what our affects are. And that process may be compromised in the kinds of patients who come for psychotherapy. And a huge part of the work that psychotherapists do can be seen in terms of affect regulation. Let's go.